trust me when I say that your deep-rooted beliefs about who you are in the process of going through the Kundalini awakening and going through the journey of entrepreneurship, they're going to be facing you like an absolute mirror. And you need to become, in my opinion, you need to become relentless in the pursuit of bodying and empowering yourself through different techniques on the journey to your purpose.
Welcome back.
Welcome to today's episode.
That's right. I'm Maia and my beautiful co-host Leanne. We are super excited to have you here with us at Modern Shakti Files, where we talk about everything Kundalini and we demystify Kundalini, Shakti, life force energy, and how to apply it in a modern Western lifestyle and how to integrate it by sharing our own experiences. We are both Kundalini activation facilitators. We have been holding space for the past few years and work with different people. We also had our own journeys mastering this energy. So we are bringing this full array of experience and insights to you, so you hopefully don't feel as alone and crazy as many of us have done in this journey, right?
Yeah. 100%.
And today we're going to touch on, in particular, what happens when you actually have a Kundalini awakening in terms of realigning you with your soul's purpose. Because this is one of the biggest side effects. Like there is plenty, like, your spiritual gifts coming back online and whatnot. But what we often recognize is that between like you and me and all our friends, for example, who work with this energy, like everyone had a 180-degree shift in their lives. Like within a few years, things just completely change. So that's what we're going to talk about, how that happens, what's the support, why is this happening, what are the challenges. Yeah. So is there anything you kind of want to jump in on there? Like what was that biggest shift for you when it came to this energy and how it kind of helped you uncover that, hey, I'm here for more than work 9 to 5, for example?
Yeah, 100%. So I'd say like the biggest shift for me was the more that my energy channel started to clear, the more that trauma somatically started to express through the body, the more that I realised that the life that I was living was a construct that was created by the different defence mechanisms and ways of learning to be in the world based upon programming. So it was kind of like a deconstruction process. Equally, I would say that at the start of the process, during the unravelling, came a lot of pace in relation to purpose. And what I mean when I say that, which I always say, what I mean when I say that is this innate knowing that I was here to do more, that I was being guided to do more, and I wasn't necessarily completely sure what that even looks like. And in that process, and I'm saying this for any souls that are listening right now, in that process, it can look like scrambling around trying to figure out what your purpose actually is, like built on this sense of urgency, almost like a trauma response. Yeah. It's this undercurrent of I'm solely responsible for changing the planet and changing the world and stuff like that. So I'd say like it's an undercurrent of maybe like a response to trauma as well in relation to responsibility. And I think that when you're in it, you don't realise that you're in it. You're just like, shit, I need to anchor loads of light into humanity. I need to save the planet. This needs to happen. La-di-da-di-da. You're really in the fast pace. But when you start to go further down the line, you start to realise the value in reflection, regulation, taking time, assessing your judgments and perspectives, because when you are going through that process, you are ingesting and digesting so much information about spiritual ideologies, deconstructing things all at the same time, that literally your brain and your nervous system is churning and chewing up all of this different like spiritual information, to the point where it can be easy to make judgments and decisions without fully being able to step back from the situation and go, is this actually in alignment with me? So I would say that my own personal experience, right, and I do believe it was part of the process and it was meant to, was a case of like, I just quit my job like that. I was just like, 11-year career, boom, gone. Sense of stability, boom, gone. Didn't even think of the consequences.
Shmi, here I come.
Yeah, God, I'm here. And no real plan. Didn't know what I was planning on doing, and almost a bit ungrounded in the experience as well. And I think that we all go through that. So if you're listening right now and you're going through that, like, that's okay. It's part of your process, and you will eventually start to reground, because if you imagine your energy is going up into these higher centers, so you're able to believe in a bigger life. You're able to receive higher capacity. So you need to be up there to be able to think that all of them different things are possible. But it then is important to start, anchoring that energy back into the body, back into the earth, back into ground. So I would say that, the first 1 to 2 years were an intense process for me. And I also believe that, obviously, I'm an entrepreneur now. I believe that all entrepreneurs probably go through this process of they're constructing a new way of moving in the world in terms of businesses. So, and that comes with so much fucking trial and error. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to try this and see if that works. Yeah.
Yeah, and particularly when you are a solopreneur in particular. So it's not like you're building a business for the sake of profit and, like you're following an old, I like to say old construct or old dynamic, but like the way things used to be done. And you're actually looking to build a business that is purpose-led.
Yeah.
And purpose-focused and soul-led, where you are delivering a service that is your life work essentially. But beyond that, it has the importance to support humanity in whatever shape or form. Not because humanity wouldn't be supported without it, but because that's where you truly get to deliver and channel through your power. So that's a different business to deliver. Like, it's a completely different way of doing entrepreneurship.
Yeah, 100%. And I was thinking about this the other day because I know many entrepreneurs who, maybe they have travel businesses, or maybe they have, a brokerage and stuff like that. And there's challenges that come with being an entrepreneur. But doing something that comes through your body that is not the social norm is one of the most fucking terrifying experiences that, as a human being, that you can go through. And what I mean when I say terrifying is creating the sense of inner safety within your body to embody that expression without collapsing, without, shrinking yourself, because it's so far from the norm, from the societal construct norm in the Western world, that it's like every move that you take is a whole fucking initiation into, like, oh my God.
Yeah, exactly. And then still learning to stop comparing your journey with other people's journeys. And it sounds like a cliche, but that's like a never-ending lesson in this whole process. Because I also just wanted to like re-summarize what you begin with, because it sounded like almost like a 3-stage process, where when you have that initial awakening, because you start to release so much subconscious conditioning, like programs from the body, like the emotional, like the traumatic, emotional little blockages start moving through and you start to expand. So that's the first stage where you all of a sudden understand that it is possible to have a different type of lifestyle, because you all of a sudden let go of these little weights that's been holding you down, like these programs that told you that life has to look a certain way and that's it. And when these things start to break, then you start questioning of like, maybe what I was told that I just need to, I need to, you know, have a diploma and then get into a job and I work until I'm 50 and then I have holidays, like all of these standard normal ways of living starts to kind of break down if you come from that background. Or even as an entrepreneur, for example, maybe you've been doing that your whole life and you're like, okay, the goal of having a business is X, Y, and Z, but then all of these other things start to change. Maybe I get to love what I do. Maybe work doesn't have to be hard. Maybe work can be enjoyable. And then it takes you into that second stage where all of a sudden you see all these possibilities and you feel like you have to change everything. Like you have so much to deliver into the world, like you take it on as a responsibility, until you can actually reach the third stage where you also understand that the mission is that there is no mission, number one. Like purpose is great, but truly that's also a paradox, because in reality, my purpose is to fully embody my fullest potential and show up as that, and that's it. There is no mission for me to achieve. And there's a whole other like breakdown.
Yeah, that is so powerful. That is so powerful. And I think like a more grounded approach to, you know, finding your purpose in life is kind of reflecting on where do your skills meet your passions, meet your life experience and the different challenges that you've overcome, and how can you use that and use them perspectives to enrich the world with your knowledge, your consciousness, your information. And I personally had to remind myself, I think I sent you a message, Mia, saying the work that I do by myself is going into an infinite field of intelligence. So even the inner shadow work that I'm doing to overcome is serving the world. The inner work that I'm doing is serving the world. And then it's like, okay, how do I bring that medicine into reality in a way where it's going to create abundance, it's going to create joy, it's going to create love. People are going to feel expanded from the work that I'm doing. And yeah, what would you say about all that?
Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, it's a never ending journey. It constantly repeats. We were just having a conversation about me having almost like a mental breakdown just a few days ago with frustration and all the pressure that I put on myself. And I have been doing this for some time too. And it's important to remember that the journey never ends. And it's not like I overcome certain things and challenges and now all of a sudden everything is going to be easy and one day things are just going to shift and that's it. But the true work is that you get to a stage where irrespective of what happens, you respond as that person that you have built yourself to be. The vision, the desire, and you show up as that. And it can be a challenging path because the construct of doing and achieving and measuring our value and input based on results is very innate in all of us. So just like you said, that you can sit and have a day where you just see, even in my language, where you are doing shadow work and journaling and doing inner work. And you're going to be like, but hold on a second. I haven't been productive. I haven't done anything that is actually creating an impact. And it's because it takes such a long time for our beingness to completely understand and see inner work and rest and the spiritual alignment as a productive part of the process. And the truth is that we need to have all pieces together. So there are 4 aspects in order to do alignment, like also to a business. There is the physical effort that we have to create. It's undeniable. We have to build some type of bridges, structures, something that supports us. But then there is the spiritual work that needs to be done behind that. And then there is the certainty and the knowing that we hold within ourselves, that no matter what happens, it's happening for you. And then there is the inner work that you can't, like the trust in source and creation, that is co-creation. So the inner work that you do on yourself as the vessel to be able to hold that light, because anything that you are building, whether that's a personal project or a business, will only be able to stand as strong as the capacity of your consciousness as the founder of that business is capable of holding.
Say it again, girl. Fucking say that again. Powerful. Yeah. And I'd just like to add to that, like, when you first start going through this process, and I think I've spoke about the Joe Dispenza retreat that I went to, and Joe teaches people, like, you go in the quantum field and you visualize and boom, it just shows up at your door. So here's me expecting to walk out my front door and it's there. And
that's so painful, because people believe, they're like, I'm doing something wrong. I visualize, where's my 50 grand?
Yeah. Equally, I do think there will be some souls in which that process works for. So I don't like to discount things, because I think that every soul has a path. But in my personal experience, it's like, yes, I can have those things, but I need to be the person that believes that she's worthy of having them things. And that means that the work I have to embody within myself to receive those things, to truly feel like deeply in my body, like, I deserve that. Like, that man treating me in that way, I'm a goddess, like, I deserve that. That is my birthright. And it's like, trust me when I say that your deep-rooted beliefs about who you are in the process of going through the Kundalini awakening and going through the journey of entrepreneurship, they're going to be facing you like an absolute mirror. And you need to become, in my opinion, you need to become relentless in the pursuit of bodying and empowering yourself through different techniques on the journey to your purpose. Yeah.
Sure. And it's so funny, because like everything we end up talking about, I'm like, this is literally what I was just complaining before this call. I'm like, I just feel so frustrated. I want to do so many things, and it matters so much. And you want to do it so perfectly because it matters. Yeah. You know, when you're actually doing something from here, it's different. It matters. You want it to be perfect. You want it to have the impact. You want to give it all you got.
Yeah. But I still think, God, darling, sorry.
No, that's okay. Like, I'm just saying, like, and I think this is where who is listening to this, like, irrespective of where you are on your journey, just know that we this is normal. We're always going to at some point reach that wall where be like, I just want to make things happen because this matters. This is part of living your soul purpose. It's gonna be a constant cycle of like, I got this, I'm doing it, this is great, I'm gonna do it even better, this is how I'm gonna do it better, and boom, you're gonna reach ground zero every time you're reaching a new level. And it's going to come from a state of, this matters, I can do more, because you keep evolving with your purpose. You keep evolving. Like, none of us are the same person we were a year ago or 2 years ago when we were working with this energy, or 3 years ago, 4 years ago. If you look at the growth, like this crazy amount of growth that happens when you actually start tapping into life force energy and body-based embodiment and spirituality, your growth that you do in a year is equivalent to what other people do in 10, 15, 20 years. So it's going to be super normal that you feel like you are rebuilding stuff every single year because you're reaching a complete different level of consciousness, and your output have to reflect that.
Yeah. And I'd just like to add on to what you said there, me, you know, about the fact that you want everything to be great and all of them different things. And I think it's important, and this is something that you'll learn to understand as you go through this journey, is holding multiple perspectives all at once and them all being true. And the power to be able to do that, because in one perspective, I need to hold the perspective that, like, how I'm showing up is good enough, because that's what you need to embody, like a level of self-love, self-acceptance, all of them different things. And then holding the perspective of, I really want to be the best, and I really want to like strive, and I really want to, because these things matter to me. And it's like, can I hold both perspectives? So for example, I balls up something yesterday. Like, I emailed 500 people for something for business. I emailed 500 people for something in business, right? And I copied all of their email addresses into the normal email so that they all got to see each other's emails, and I proper ballsed it up in terms of professionalism, privacy and stuff like that. Like, it was not good. It was not a good like decision to make. It was just maybe like a lack of attention in the moment. And I can love to, you know, excel, be great, do great things. Equally, on this perspective, I've got to go, I don't give a fuck. Do you know what I mean? It's like, can I hold both perspectives? Because if I'm just going, oh my God, like, look at what I've done. If I can't hold this ideology of, like, I don't give a shit, I'm a fucking psychopath and I'll do what I want, then this this perspective, this ideology that I've got to be fucking perfect in order to do great things in the world, it's going to completely take over. And when you're going through this process, sometimes you can only hold one perspective. You can only hold this childlike perspective of like, like everything needs to be perfect. And the process of holding is like holding so many different perspectives and angles in your body, and giving them just as much time, attention, love and support. And I think it's the process of balancing that masculine and feminine energetics. Like, this morning I've been out dancing in the rain, fucking tying myself up and orgasming with Mother Earth, and now I'm gonna sit on my laptop and create a book and do this podcast. And like, you know, can you allow both expressions to just what
would you say, like, if you had to think about like someone who is like, listen, I am here, I'm living my life, I have no idea about what my purpose is.
Yeah.
I don't like, okay, sure, I can do this Kundalini thing because apparently it's great for more vitality in the body, open up my spiritual gifts. Like, we've been talking about this a little bit, like what was the practical perspective? Because in reality, Kundalini is not about the mystical experience of reaching enlightenment. Like, we spoke so much about the nervous system, right? Like, it's something that really helps to stabilize the nervous system. And it has actually been kind of proven scientifically, not scientific. I don't know if this is true. I might hold that claim. I wonder if we are still here, because you cut out for a second. So Leanne messaged me that the power in her apartment just gone off. So there is something so beautiful with when you're bringing in so much light into the world, there needs to be some type of effort through it. So I think we're going to leave the podcast here for today. And what I just wanted to say earlier, that we'll finish, is that Kundalini Shakti and energy healing work and tapping into your life force energy is the fastest and most primal way to rebalance your nervous system. And in order to live an embodied and spiritually awakened life here in this body, on this planet, we must have a very stable nervous system. That's the key to all of it. And with that, we are able to take on challenges and anything that comes our ways particularly when we honor our desires and our passions, and challenges will come our ways, but we will have capacity to respond to them. So that is the key to purpose and Kundalini, and that we wanted to come to. And in the next episode, we are going to talk about more practical ways how to embody this energy, how to tap into it, perhaps some practices that you can begin doing at home that is not particularly restricted, very simple tools that we can start doing in our everyday lives that really helps to open up to this energy. Yes, thank you for tuning in, and I'm gonna go find Leanne. Bye.